My name Bishop Bullwinkle. I got the first church, nothing but the truth. What you say? Deacon John, Deacon George, Deacon Clay. Open up the door, right. Turn them loose. Come on. First I want to thank God for the blood running warm in my veins. Yeah, I thank God for my life, health, and strength. I got a sound mind, I'm not insane. Come on. I ain't gonna preach too long. I ain't gonna take the service too far. My sermon this morning, hell to the no, no, no. Come on, come on. Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Listen, Sister Edna, Sister Ruth, make sure that everybody gets to see.
Bishop Bullwinkle.
Yep. Big episode today, people.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's a landmark episode, number 20. Welcome, Project Ion. We've got Desiree back. How are you, Desiree?
I'm well.
Good. Laura's with us. Hey, Laura.
Hi.
And then Bishop Bullwinkle over on the far end.
Seeds.
How's it going? Yeah, hi.
Going good. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Oh, going good. Got a sick kid, but we're here, so.
Okay, what's he got? Devin Titus?
got a bad case. No, just a cold.
Well, yeah.
Just a little cold.
Devin Titus is a serious...
That's a serious ailment.
Yeah. Nobody can survive that. Yeah. So, good. I'm glad you're just a little cold. Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah, you betcha.
Let's see. What are our lines here? We can be found on the internet, whatever. Project Ion. Welcome to the Gym Show.
Seats.
The Beast Cast, featuring a bunch of lame wads and me. Okay.
Indeed. What is it? This is episode 20? Is that
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, check out my flashy banner I made.
Yeah, that's great. That is great. 20. That's an awful yellow, too.
Well, I wanted to make it pop.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I mean, so, okay.
Oh, what do you got on the agenda?
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about was unpacking the standards.
God,
if we could go ahead and dive into that subject matter.
Huh? You had to go there.
For that information, you can go to episode 19.
Okay, so
I'd rather talk about cooking placenta.
Oh, no.
Then I'm leaving.
I'm getting the conspiracy glasses on for this. The education episode is our worst viewed episode so far. I don't even know if it's cracked 20 views yet.
Wow.
Okay.
Seriously.
What the heck?
Yeah. Guess what the best one is so far?
Shrimp cast.
Shrimp cast. Yep.
Well, probably because you watched it
For sure.
90% of the time.
Every night before I go to sleep,
Probably.
I turn on the shrimp
For
cast.
sure, that's a commentary on the audience.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe. There he is.
Hey.
What's up, Adam?
Not too much. Oh, yeah. Down the hallway, you remember where it is?
I do.
Okay. Hey, I like the goat, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks good.
All right.
Okay. Should we stall while we wait for Adam?
Sure.
Okay. I don't want to dive into our subject matter before we aren't fully staffed, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Adam keeps it moving, too.
Yeah, he does.
What was I going to say? Forgot. Great.
No wonder nobody listens to this
Yeah.
show.
Piece of crap.
It is. Oh, I was on Jeff Robinson's podcast.
Were
the other
you?
day. Or radio show.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. A vape.
Yeah.
Oh.
It could be, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
I saw one in the hallway look just like a flash drive.
Yep. I confiscated a flash drive the other day, vape thing. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Jeff Robinson.
Yeah. It's his Thursday radio
Were you
show
talking
thing.
with Fran Tarkington as well?
Well, he was asking me about different
Oh.
stuff, like when my grandpa Rosendahl came to town
Yeah.
and that, and like the abstract office, and I don't know. It wasn't too significant of a thing, but
Yeah.
like too lengthy of a conversation. I mean, but
When does he do that, like Saturday evenings
I think
or
it's
something?
well, he records them during the week, and then I think it airs on Thursday nights or something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I was glad to do it. It was a nice little promo opportunity for
Yeah,
myself. Get on
should've-
the
Should have plugged the podcast. While you're at
yeah. I'm not sure if I want anybody watching this.
Is there any significance to the name Project Ion?
Yeah, there is. So the founders are myself and the Grimm's boys, and we were all projectionists at the movie theater. So, projection, Project Ion.
Combine the two.
That's how we arrived at that. To make it sound science-y for Kyle's benefit primarily, but yeah, I don't know. We need to. Dave actually was a projectionist as well, but
yeah.
we want to get Chris Burton on
Oh man, that would
and
be
have like
awesome.
tell all
Theater
our
reunion.
theater horror stories.
Oh god, that would be awesome. We should do that like
Yeah,
episode 50 or
right. We
well,
totally
25 at this pace.
Yeah,
Pardon my windblown hair.
That's all right.
So nice to drive the windows down.
Yeah,
yeah,
you planned that. You knew you were gonna be on camera. So.
yeah. We're rolling, Adam. So
Oh.
welcome, Adam.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you get your boat?
I did. I got my boat sold.
What kind of boat did you have?
Nice.
I had a Lund Fisherman
Whoa.
1800.
Ah man, I was almost in the market. How much you sell it for?
10.5.
I'm
Yeah.
not in the market. That's nice. No, was it you say it was a Pro V? Is that what you said?
No,
Oh.
it's a Lund Fisherman Pro 1800, so it's
Okay.
17 and a half feet long.
Gotcha. Kind
And
of
it
motor
had
you have on her.
3 live wells. It had a 150 horse Mercury
Nice.
Optimax.
Very good.
Goes from 0 to fast really fast.
I didn't know you were a fisherman.
Well, I'm not anymore since I moved to Iowa, and
Oh,
Iowa has some pretty weird regulations. I can't get a fishing license because the Iowa Department of Natural Resources does not communicate with the other state departments in Iowa. So as far as the DNR is concerned, I'm not a resident. I have to establish residency with the DNR before I can do that. So in order to establish residency, you have to have your driver's license. You have to have proof that you pay Iowa state taxes. No big deal. You also have to have a home purchase agreement or a lease agreement. You also have to have vehicle registration. I can't register my vehicle in the state of Iowa because my ex-wife is still on the loan. And she would have to be a resident of Iowa for me to be able to register the vehicle in the state of Iowa.
where were you at before? Arizona? Or
Rochester, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah.
That's way off.
By thousands of
Yeah.
Really
miles.
thought he
I
was
tried.
cool.
I tried.
Nope, he's just right up there in Minnesota.
Dave's from New Mexico. Maybe that's
Dave,
what
yeah.
we're
That's
thinking of.
probably
That
what
was
you're
probably-
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I should tell my fan base that we're online.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Indeed.
Totally. Let's
have
get into our subject matter, you guys.
One watching and it's me.
Well, I've been putting some thought into it.
Is the stream looking
Yeah,
okay?
looks good.
Okay. So, I think we covered Jussie Smollett at one point in time, didn't we?
Jussie.
Yeah, that was we had Shep on that episode.
I like the last name.
Jussie.
Smollett.
Juicy Smollett.
believe we've met.
Oh, that's
I'm
Desiree.
I work with Laura.
Adam,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
All right.
You gonna play this clip or what? are we
Yes.
doing? Okay.
Hopefully.
Spinning. Spinning.
Seriously.
Spinning.
We're streaming still, right?
Yeah.
Not the internet.
Plans to
Just-
file a
there.
civil suit against Empire actor Jussie Smollett. The city believes Smollett should pay more than $130,000 for the investigation into allegations that he staged a hate crime. Smollett maintains his innocence. Cook County prosecutors dropped all charges against him last week. Outgoing Mayor Rahm Emanuel says Smollett owes the city an apology. The new mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, has suggested that she will continue any investigation. Joining me now, Jesse Weber. He's an attorney and host of the Law and Crime Network. So, gotta ask you, why would the city pursue charges this way?
Well, I mean, their other avenue was expired. You know, the criminal arena was done. So why don't try to get their money back? I don't think it's really about the money. It's about getting their answers. It's about getting Jussie Smollett to apologize for what he did. I still think that's what the big issue was. The fact that he never pled guilty and there was no deferred prosecution agreement where he, in a court, in the public, admitted to what he did, that's the thing that's getting to them. So why not go after his checkbook, which is the other avenue?
So what's the other downside in this?
There's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, so think about this. The letter written by Mark Garagos, Jussie Smollett's attorney, seemed to suggest
This
that
is just a bizarre story. from the get-go.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's all blown up that it was a hate crime. And then
Well, what was the crime? Because I'm not familiar with the
well,
story.
allegedly, he claimed somebody poured acid on him or something, and 2 guys were wearing MAGA hats that did it.
That put a rope around his
Oh,
neck.
rope
okay.
and
Yes,
a
I
rope
did
around
hear
his neck,
about
yeah.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so then it all blew up, and Twitter, of course, with all the white knights on Twitter and the SJWs went crazy. And then came out the Chicago PD said, nope, it's a hoax. But what I don't get is why they would drop the charges. That's kind of my, maybe that's what they're answering right now.
Mhm.
Seems like a pretty big deal just to drop charges to me. I don't know.
Right.
I guess I'm not the lawyer here.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess there's prosecutorial discretion, of course. You know,
Yeah.
you can pick and choose how much work you want to create for yourself. And
So then now the story has turned into the city wants to file charges because he lied, supposedly.
Well, they did file
Lied.
charges, but the criminal charges were dropped,
Mhm.
and so
Oh,
now
okay,
they're
so now
trying
it's
to
civil.
sue him
in civil
Gotcha.
court. Yeah.
for $130,000, the cost of the investigation.
Okay,
That
that
was
makes sense.
complete BS that was made up.
Gotcha. As it should be.
So here's my question. I mean, along the same lines of your question, Kyle, isn't filing a false report's a crime?
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Isn't that what he did?
Yeah, allegedly. I mean,
Well,
So they've proven that it's false.
Mhm.
Like they've proven that this was totally staged.
but no, I think 2 people actually did it though. They were like his
They-
friends. So what it
Yeah, he hired them to do
so
it.
it wasn't necessarily like it didn't happen. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if it'd be false,
yeah.
but it definitely wasn't a hate crime.
Hmm. I don't know exactly what charges were raised against him, and then of course what the statutory language is. It'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
And it sounded to me like everybody that had their pulse on it, finger on the pulse of the thing in the Chicago area, said that, well, I mean, it was plain as day that he was guilty of this, but for whatever reason,
Mhm.
the attorney, the county attorney didn't.
Maybe you'd be able to
pursue
answer
it.
this with your background, but so you can file defamation of character against a person, right? Can it be the same against like a campaign? Because was the point of his video with them wearing like MAGA hats to make them? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what's your? I guess I'm not exactly understanding.
Well, I don't
your
even
question.
understand like what's the.
What the significance of
Is
the
it-
MAGA hat thing?
Well, is that what he was trying to prove, that it was a bunch of people that were Trump supporters and like pursuing various hate crimes on him? I guess what was the purpose of the video?
To draw attention to himself.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, I've never heard of the show Empire until
Was he
now.
trying? I guess what I'm trying to say, was he trying to make Trump supporters look bad? Was that his deal?
Probably, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, to me, my take on it was
And
that
then I guess then my further question is, that's not defamation of character of one individual, but essentially a group
Yeah.
of supporters, possibly.
yeah, I mean, the MAGA hat, whether you're into it or not, I think it's irrefutable to say that it's not a thing that carries, it carries a lot of baggage. And to me, the hat thing was an exclamation point on
Yeah.
an underlining and a bolding,
Mm.
pay
Agenda.
attention. You're right. And that to me, that's what it was all about, was to take it from all the way up to turn the dial up to 11.
Yeah.
So then let me pose a question to you. Is falsifying a hate crime out of hate a hate crime?
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
I mean, that's kind of where as I was thinking about this today, that's where my mind was going. Isn't this kind of in a way its own kind of hate crime?
Mm-hmm. Could be.
Yeah.
I hate all conservatives, so I'm just going to, fake this really nasty, racially charged.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I guess that was more or less what I was trying to say. Like, faking this because he, hates a certain group of people or a certain campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Then doing this, what is can that be filed under a particular charge?
Well, I mean, I don't know who would, when it's you're casting aspersions about a huge group of people. Who's the
one person
who's the
responsible for
person-
suing him?
yeah.
Yep.
that raises a suit?
Right.
Yeah, who's got standing to sue him? Because you got to have
Damages. And
everybody that voted for Trump
Yep.
joined the class
I'm suing
action suit
everybody.
against Jussie Smollett.
Yeah, that would go nowhere.
Everybody who owns a MAGA hat.
I just fail to see how. I mean, let's just say the roles were reversed, and Hillary was won in office, and a conservative individual had pulled the same stunt. How fast would his ass be in jail?
Yeah.
And essentially, not only is nothing happening to Jussie Smollett, it is throwing him so in a major big way into the limelight,
Mhm.
and he's probably going to make more money because of it now. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, he definitely went from obscurity to household name
Mhm.
in a short period of.
Yeah, it's like now when I'm
Time.
scrolling through my DVR, I see Empire. I'm like, oh, I know that
Yeah.
show. So
Yeah, I might need to.
I need to watch it now.
Yeah,
No.
get the conspiracy
hate-
glasses on.
I hate all those stupid sitcoms.
Oh, is that where we're going? Okay.
Yes,
I don't have
it was
anything.
all
I
a
had to bring him
conspiracy.
over.
Yeah, just to boost ratings for Empire.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the clip.
That what they were doing was a form of harassment, and they even suggested the idea that what they're doing is defamatory. So
there
if
you
they
go.
file
There
a
you go.
lawsuit, his attorneys could file one, right? But could file a claim for defamation. But that's not even the biggest thing. They also threatened to depose Mayor Rahm Emanuel, Chief Superintendent Eddie Johnson, the brothers who claim that this was a hoax. They are claiming, you really want to open this up? You really want to know what happened? Which is surprising because his defense team is suggesting that the city has something to hide. Was it a faulty investigation? Did they pressure the brothers into giving this statement? That's the thing that I'm interested in.
Oh, interesting. I was just going to, would it just be easier for Smollett to pay these fees?
If he does that, he's admitting more wrongdoing, right? That was the thing that always got to me. The fact that he forfeited that $10,000 payment,
Yeah.
the fact that he did community service, I mean, he didn't do that because he felt like he had nothing better to do. Was he admitting guilt or not? If he were to settle this, there's an argument to be made that, okay, you know what? I do owe the city money for all of the time that they wasted investigating it. I mean, that's what they're claiming. You filed a false report. That's why you owe the $130,000. And if he were to pay that, it's just confirming that.
And couldn't he also say it affected my career?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's a lose-lose situation. Will this eventually go to a trial? There's a long way between that and now. But what's interesting is I think we're going to get finally more explanations of what happened here, because that's the thing that I think every side wants to understand. What really happened?
Do you think he's getting so much attention because he is an actor? Like if it was just some random Joe Schmo off the street that just made this stupid hate crime video and posted it, would.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, we are enamored with celebrity
Think
people in this country for sure.
Think
so.
about if this happened with a politician, like a
Oh,
black
yeah.
politician.
Oh,
Oh, my
yeah.
God. The crap storm that would produce would be
Mhm.
out of this world. CNN would just have a perpetual you-know-what in their pants, and then,
Mhm.
oh, that'd be crazy. So, Jimmy, whenever you run for office,
Yeah, right. I know just what to do
Yeah.
to get my name out there.
Jimmy's the result of a hate. Hatred against bald people.
Yeah, that's right. My favorite Bible verse is the
Deuteronomy.
the one where the kids come make fun of the bald guy and then he's like says, whatever, and then the bears
off
come
my
and
lawn.
kill all the
He
kids.
says.
Yeah. Well, the kid or the bald guy says, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
But bears show up and
They
eat
just
all the
take 'em.
people. Yeah,
Nice. It's got to
Yeah.
be Old Testament.
it is. Yeah, I can't remember.
I
the-
should know. I'm a Pope, by the way.
Yep.
I have to look for that one. I don't remember that.
Well, okay. Since I'm here with Google. Let's see.
Bald guy.
Bible verse.
Bears. There you go.
Bears. Yeah. Bears.
Bald man. 2
42
bears.
children.
Oh, misinterpreted.
Yeah, I
It's the first
suppose.
word, of course.
I'm sure I got it all wrong.
There, that's how it's portrayed in the Bible. That's awesome. You should show the viewers that.
Yeah, Bears. Okay, whoop. And what? Elisha went
I
up,
like what it says. This passage has disturbed many a reader.
and Elisha went up from there to Bethel. While he was on his way, young juveniles came out from the city and mocked him, saying, "Go up, bald head! Go up, bald head!" When he turned back and saw them, he cursed them in the name of Yahweh. Then 2 female bears came out from the forest and mauled 42 of those juveniles.
That's awesome.
Now, I don't know what...
So what's the lesson? Don't make fun of bald people?
Yeah.
Exactly. And what is this? 2 Kings?
Yeah.
I don't know what all that
2
gobbledygook
Kings.
means.
Chapter 2, verses 23 and 24.
Yeah. Is that not in the Catholic Bible? I see it's KJV over here.
Well, that's in
I
the
don't know.
it's in the King James version, the New
Mhm.
International Version, the English Standard Version. Yeah, no, it's in all the Bibles.
Never hear that one
Be
in
a
Mass.
lesson
gospel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
it
hear
must
that
not
one.
be a lesson you guys go through at.
Well, there's not a whole lot of depth there, I don't
Religion.
think.
I don't remember ever hearing somebody preach on that topic.
Yeah.
I don't either. This
So
is new.
let's
to
talk
me.
about making fun of a bald people.
Yeah. Dang it, we can't see the video. Are bald people just temperamental?
Ooh.
The first thing to dismiss is that this was an older man who reacted badly to taunts about his male pattern balding. According to
Are
2
they
Kings.
literal bears or are they figurative bears that maul the children?
Yeah, or the bear's just figurative for like karma.
Well,
I didn't know they had bears in the Middle East.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And more, yeah.
That's interesting.
I think maybe some of the more mountainous areas, maybe, but I don't know.
Well, you know they have bears in Russia. I don't know if they have bears in Africa. They
Yeah.
got koala bears in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
They do have black bears in Europe.
Well-
I don't think there are black bears in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But if this was,
I have to
I
Google
mean,
that.
somebody would have had to have the knowledge of what a bear is to write the
Mm.
passage. So maybe, yeah, we won't go there.
Interesting.
Unless, well, I mean, unless when it was translated from its original Greek, bear could mean something
Yeah.
different.
Anyways, I got a lot of explanation here about stuff.
Or
but-
maybe it wasn't in Greek. Maybe somebody can correct me on that.
Yeah.
Hebrew.
Anyways, don't be hating on the bald folks.
Yeah, here it's in the
Right.
Bible.
That's right.
So how do we go from Jussie Smollett to
Says.
Bible passages about?
Hate crimes.
That's right. Okay, hate crimes.
Tie it all together.
It's even in
Yep.
the Bible. Okay.
That's just the kind of ride the Project Iron podcast
Yeah.
is. You never know
Where you
what
gonna
kind of
get
twists and turns
That's
you're going to take.
funny.
I want to find a video on Jeff Bezos or an article on his divorce.
Yeah, that was nasty. Well, that's
Okay, there are bears in the Middle East, and it was translated from Hebrew.
Okay.
I've been corrected.
Interesting.
There you go.
Yep.
Richest guy.
That
in
was
the
a good
world.
correction, though. I learned something.
Check out some Fox News here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's never good.
Feel the burn, maybe. Lawrence Sanchez and Patrick Weitzel.
Whoops. Sorry, people. So Jeff Bezos, richest guy ever, right? What was his net worth pre-divorce? Like
Some billion.
bajillion, gazillion dollars.
He had so much money he could give half of it away and not notice.
Right.
Speaking of rich people, is
Are
it
these
true
even the right
that
people? I don't think so.
This is his 5th divorce.
Well, I saw somewhere that this divorce was worth like 36 billion or something
Jeez.
for ex Mrs. Bezos.
It's a good cash out.
Yeah. So just for some, fun factoids, I looked up Justin Bieber's net worth, which is approximately 265 million,
Yeah.
according to something or other. And it would take 135
Beavers.
Biebers to equal
Just
ex Mrs. Bezos.
just the alimonies. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
265 million is stunning wealth that you'd never be able to spend in 10 lifetimes,
Yeah.
from a normal standpoint.
Think of all the good you can do with that money, though. That's
She
crazy.
won't have to find a Mr. Bezos, another
No.
one for a long
Well,
time.
people acquired that wealth not by doing good,
Yes,
though.
INDEPENDENT. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
Classic.
God, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Bad podcasting. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, now I remember. I heard in the hallway the other day. I don't know who was talking about it, but anyone's heard this? That
Wow,
Warren
that brings me
Buffett's-
back. I heard in the hallway the
Yeah,
other day.
that's
Well, I was
Warren
in my
Buffett's
locker
daughter, did
between gym
she
class.
buy the old inn space at the lakes, and maybe it was Brooks Golf Course or something.
Wharton Buffett's daughter?
yeah.
No, she
That's
did.
true. Okay, that's
It's true. From what I know about that, it was where the inn formerly stood along the lakeshore. They've divided it into 4 or 5
Drove by there
lots.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they've started construction on a place that is roughly kind of where the swimming pool was, or maybe
Okay.
some of the
Mhm.
newer hotel addition along not right on the water, but there's that little road that
Yeah.
looped
The
around there
indoor
off.
swimming pool.
Yeah, right, the indoor swimming pool.
Good.
And that I understand is where her security is going to live.
Hmm.
So I think she plans to construct a house on one of those
Interesting.
lots in there.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was.
Oh,
Gonna
okay.
Yeah, and then
do
there
a
may,
house.
maybe 1 or 2.
Well,
of
that
them
makes
for
makes
sale.
sense then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll probably be a big old compound by the time
Yep.
it's done.
Is
And-
it construction started though?
Well, it was on the security house.
Okay.
Because people, I was driving by, I was talking to Jim Sr. about it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if Mrs. or daughter Buffett or whatever is building this house, it's a little on the modest order for her, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't too maybe look like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath or something,
Hmm.
And no, that's for
Security.
security. Yes.
So is she going to do the same thing that old Tommy Bedell did and build some big
Oh God. Yeah.
$30 million mansion and then turn around
Try
and sell
sell
it for
it.
15?
Yeah.
Or try to sell it for.
Did anybody buy that?
Nope,
Not to my
still for
knowledge.
sale.
Yeah.
How much was the inn?
I don't know. I'd imagine it was pretty hefty because
Yeah.
there was a lot of land,
A lot of
included-
lakeshore, yeah.
lot of lakeshore, and then a lot to the north
Mhm.
too, where the golf course was, and then
Mhm.
it went back a long ways.
Because isn't your grandparents' place, isn't that, what, about a third of a mile, half mile
Yeah, it's
up the road from that?
not far at all. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Chum it up with the Buffetts.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be great.
Think of all that tax money though that's going to come in again to that county. It's crazy.
Yeah,
To that
well,
district.
plenty of other ones to go with it.
Yeah.
So.
Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down. What the heck was that?
What? Ooh, just hit up the recommendeds.
Tragic Life of Artie Lang. Never heard of her.
I don't know what that is. You want to watch?
No, not really. Our mixed weight relationship. Oh God.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Where's that?
Towards the top one, towards the.
By R. Kelly.
Oh, this
Police
is-
He Can Lie.
This looks great. Let's try it.
All right, here we go. Not a fetish. Oh, jeez.
There's definitely a stigma of smaller men dating bigger girls or vice versa. I think it's because bigger people in general are looked at as undesirable.
True.
Well, that's a claim you'd have to back up. Peoria.
Why'd they call this extreme? I mean,
How is this extreme?
this lady's overweight, but
Looks like
You
a
know.
nice lady.
Describing love, yeah.
Is Extreme Love like a TV show that's like
Oh,
the
right.
series name?
well, I think
What is
I've
it, BTV?
I've seen other show clips like this before, and it would be like somebody who's paralyzed, and then
Or, yeah, somebody who's in love with
Right.
a tree or something.
yeah.
The Desperate.
Whoop, did you have something to say?
I'm just thinking for an American, she's not
Yeah.
that large.
Touche. Good
Oh my
point.
gosh.
I mean, really, take a look at the average us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, reverse the roles, and I'm her. I'm kind of insulted now.
Oh, please. Here.
I have always been attracted to a much larger figure.
Why didn't he
Microphone,
scoot
Laura.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
Why didn't he scoot over
That's
on the
what the-
couch back up a little bit?
It's good TV if you scratch them
I
together.
have always been
Like-
attracted to a
It's got to
much
be
larger-
Yeah.
extreme.
There's room over
Yeah,
here.
He needs his nonverbals to emphasize his point.
No,
So he's
also-
not going to scoot away.
Look at the
I agree.
pillow.
Nice.
He's making a point.
Good catch, Durley.
Whoa, hang on. Let me switch
This
to
is the
this.
same pillow.
She looks uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, that is the same pillow. Whoa.
Okay.
You got to put that in front of the camera.
Yeah. I'm bouncing back and forth. So okay, check it out, viewers. Here's and here's ours.
This is our claim to fame.
Yeah,
We're
let's-
gonna hit
let's-
it big here.
Let's hold it up for the camera.
That's wild.
Dude, that's awesome.
That is wild. Huh.
I would not have caught that.
Well, mission accomplished. I guess.
But yeah, I mean, this doesn't seem that like weird,
Weird.
Yeah.
Like, is the other side of the couch broken or something though? Because
Unless
like,
Do you get Laura's point?
if she
Like,
would
look
have,
at how much space is on the other side of him.
And she doesn't have a lot of space.
yeah,
looks
she could sit
Yeah.
normal if
Yeah,
she
she's
just
she's
moved
like
over.
turned to the side, and then
He just really wants the viewers to see. That
yeah,
there's
that's
that
just the
much of a-
producers. So
Well, I think,
squeeze it
yeah.
in.
Hey,
Either that or she's
fix
trying
that.
to.
Well, it
project
also
a-
looks like he's sitting on something because he's up higher than she is for whatever.
Well, I
reason,
think she
but-
probably sinks down lower on the couch.
Oh, maybe that's it.
I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Maybe-
I think it's just a fact.
Thinking about the physics behind it, maybe his body just had to naturally.
Yeah.
slide
He
in
did
towards
start.
her.
He did start at the end, but
It's kind of actually how gravity works, really. You have a bigger object that produces a dip in the field, and then you have objects roll in there. But you click on the feeder one. That one looks good.
The feeder one.
Scroll
Oh, I
up.
thought this one was good.
Oh, this one looks better.
Do we want to keep watching this one, or
Oh,
are we?
I don't.
Are we done?
I
Maybe,
feel like we
yeah.
can find more extreme love than this.
Okay.
It's maybe interabled or the feeder one or
What's the feeder one?
Feeder loves making his SSBBW
whatever that means.
It's a
Girlfriend.
big, beautiful woman.
bigger. SS, what's that mean though?
Supersized.
S-
I just throwing out thoughts out
Alright.
there. I'm
Loves his
not.
women big,
Whoops. No judgment
beautiful,
here.
and growing bigger every day. Justin, also known as Jar, has never had a
Jar.
girlfriend who's smaller than him.
I've always been into bigger women from the time that, my hormones or whatever started kicking in. I started getting interested in females. I already got bottom heavy plus size women, you got top heavy plus size women, you got proportionate all over plus size women.
Man, he knows
I
his
probably
plus
would
size
like
women.
a Halle Berry or Beyonce type chick,
So Beyonce and Halle Berry aren't welcome in Justin's bed, but his girlfriend Lou ticks his boxes in a really big way. The couple recently welcomed baby Gianni, but she's not the only addition to the family.
I tried monogamy for a while.
That
It didn't really go
sounds like a
well
very British statement.
because
Wait,
I like-
what?
so it's not just like whatever
Girlfriends.
size. Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's
I
more
missed
than one.
that.
Yeah,
Girlfriends, plural.
girlfriends. Yeah.
I didn't catch that the first time.
Read that.
This is becoming
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm a flirty type of guy. So I met Shane and Lou on a social media site.
I love his personality, the way he looks, of course.
Of course, you say that.
The way he treats me.
Justin is now polyamorous with both Lou and Shan.
I wasn't with the whole polyamorous stuff, but then after me and Lou met, it just made it even better.
When I first met Shan, I instantly felt like a connection.
Having been poly together for just under a year now, they're used to a fuller house.
What makes this relationship work for me, I would say a lot of communication.
Get deep on them, babe. Get deep on them, babe.
Like,
What?
if it's like two people talking
that
or,
mean?
it will always be a
I don't know
problem
what's going on here.
because there's no communication with all three of you guys.
The rules of the relationship are basically, like I said, don't
Subtitles.
hide anything,
So are is it sexual all in every direction then? Are the girls like bisexual then? Or
Well, I don't know.
Maybe they didn't talk about that. Maybe right now it's just kind of like a twist on Mormonism
Oh.
with the plural marriage, the fundamentalist LDS in
Yeah, they can get
up
away with it.
Northern Arizona.
right.
Yeah, I don't know, but if you've ever seen that show Sister Wives,
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all like sleeping together.
Yeah,
I think he
just
takes turns, but I
got
don't know about this
got
guy.
a schedule.
Well, okay, now
Schedule.
let's expand on that. The bed behind him is not big enough for all three of
That's
those
true.
people.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't, Durley.
I'm just saying.
Microphone, Laura. What was your comment?
What? I didn't say that.
It doesn't look big enough for the two women together either.
Okay.
So.
No, actually, side by side, no.
Yeah, it might depend on the positioning.
Okay.
Well,
Wait.
I hope they don't have a couple dogs, because that would just make that bed way too small.
Yeah, does it look like anything? I mean, I don't know.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
You want to see some kissing?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
We'll fast forward here.
Jeez.
They're trying to make
Just
it
in the
work.
go off portion.
Cake.
Just in the
Yeah,
go
just
off.
live and let live,
I was
man.
gonna say,
I hear ya. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they have something that works for them.
A
Good for
lot of
them.
time it's all
That
three of
person
us. Did you
feels
just
at
catch
that
that?
moment.
What now?
She got in her head.
But that's different. That's on the floor.
Oh.
That's not the same bed.
What? It's a hot dog in the middle of a bun.
Well, that's good.
Oh, my
Lou
Lord.
and Shan enjoy sex with each other as well as their man. And while three in a
There
bed.
you go.
Alright.
Okay, well, now we have the answer to the mystery.
Glad we
Scroll
know.
forward.
Yeah.
Good for them, yeah.
All right. Well, since we're an equal opportunity podcast,
Well, you
here's
might as
one
well-
where
I was just gonna say,
I
you-
share my husband with my
Look at
boyfriend.
look at your up next though.
Wait, what?
Big booty injections gave me a 59-inch.
Oh my gosh. God, there's so many good ones to watch.
4 million views.
Okay, can we do
What are we
the?
doing wrong? All right, what do we got?
Let's
Yeah.
do
Not
the
getting
the
booty
boyfriend.
injections.
Well, maybe we
That's
should.
exactly
Probably using
right.
this and this.
We do a live
So you should
booty
start
injection. I'm
using
sure we'll
this.
have a couple million in a hurry.
When you have sex as a group, I mean, is that something you enjoy?
Yeah.
Wait, he has a Legend of Zelda belt buckle.
And I'm like, no, I
I've seen these before on something.
He has a Legend of Zelda belt buckle.
Have we watched this before?
I think I've seen this one before. Yeah, I do.
I remember.
It looks
those people.
familiar.
I don't know if maybe they were part of a 90 Day Fiance episode.
Maybe. That's a good show.
That is a good show. Did
I
you
like
know
90
that
Day
one of the
Fiancé.
90 Day
Never seen that.
people is a contestant on American Idol right now?
Yeah.
Really?
So now we're watching American
Oh,
Idol.
God. I saw Paul and Carini had their baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not hip on all of that.
Yeah, you should check it out, Adam.
90 Day. That's one of the
I-
very few
reality
sitcoms
TV
I'll
is
watch.
kind of where I lose my,
Sitcoms.
beyond like, Texas Flip and Move or something like that. I just can't do reality TV.
Yeah. It is nauseating, but
Kelly's into those shows
Yeah.
like no
you just
tomorrow.
embrace the nausea.
I mean,
Yeah.
that having
Like
been said, I have
Pound Life.
Oh,
I haven't
can't-
seen
I
that.
cannot
No.
watch that show. It's so
Haven't seen
gross.
that.
I've accidentally watched the Kardashians for a couple hours in a row.
Oh
before.
no.
Vanderpump
Yeah.
Rules, Real Housewives. Oh my god.
I haven't heard of Vanderpump Rules.
I accidentally watched the Real
Sean
Housewives for a couple
Sunset.
hours too.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I used to say when I worked in 8th grade that I was always working with the Real Housewives of Emmett County. Even though I love them to death.
Uh-huh.
Probably very
They're good
true.
people.
They're probably not watching. You don't
No,
have
I
to
doubt
say
it.
that.
I don't care if they are anyway.
Jersey Shore was my
Jersey
jam.
Shore,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I love Jersey Shore.
Oh, there's
You know
a new
that-
one.
You
Yeah.
know they actually played. Well, there's a new one, but they, of course, MTV, like in Europe and whatnot, they have one called Geordie Shore, and it looks like it kicks Jersey Shore's ass.
Really?
You have all the accents.
Where's Geordie Shore?
Geordie Shore.
It's the shores of the Jordan River. It's cray.
Oh.
Really?
No, I don't know.
I don't know where it's located. Europe somewhere. They've got like a Cockney accent.
She was indicating you should look it up.
Yeah, okay. So we got the butt thing. First, we got to get through the.
You have tabs for a reason.
Yeah, but the computer can't handle it, Laura.
Okay,
so
I'll look it up. Geordie Shore.
GEO.
Oh.
Anyway,
RGI.
Paul and Vinny, or not
my
Paul,
God.
Vinny, but yeah, Pauly D and Vinny have a new show
Oh,
where they're
yeah.
gonna it's like a bachelor type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
where
Vinny
it's-
in jail?
No, that was
That
the
was
situation.
that was
Oh,
his-
the situation.
that was his role model.
I might
yeah.
call me the situation for
Yeah.
short.
Yep, yep.
Yep,
That
yep.
was DJ Pauly D.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. DJ Pauly D.
Jersey Shore rocks.
I'm,
GTO.
right now.
that's right.
And
Too open.
yeah.
Extreme love.
Yeah.
Okay, so Geordie Shore is set in Newcastle upon Tyne.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
I'm Bella. This is Ken, my husband, and this is Daniel, my boyfriend.
Beta.
Yeah,
They
seriously.
look like they could be.
Looks like a bunch of beta LARPers to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Look at that. Doing the dishes. Beta.
I'm pretty sure the red-haired guy has a kilt on.
Well, there you go.
Like
With his
If you
Legend
don't
of
wear
Zelda belt
pants,
buckle.
I guess.
You can't really call
I mean-
yourself a man if you wear a dress, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a context thing. Doing the dishes on like a Tuesday and you're wearing a kilt,
Yeah,
that's
with your
you're in the weird zone
with
there.
your wife's boyfriend.
Maybe he works at a Scottish store and he came home for lunch.
Mm.
He's just
Maybe.
helping out around the house while he's home on his lunch break from the Scottish store.
I'm sure there's a lot of
But
reasons.
we don't know.
It's true. We don't know.
Vanessa and I have been married a little over 10 years, and the three of us have been together almost 5.
Almost 5
Almost
years.
5 years. We're a polyamorous family.
We have 2 children
Two?
that are theirs.
No, you have
children and
children.
biologically. Yes, and a cat. Don't forget the cat.
No, I forgot about the cat.
Ken and I had actually been monogamous our entire relationship. Then we met him.
And I was married. I was in that relationship for about 8 years at that point, I think, something of that nature.
First time we really had interactions with each other, we were at a party.
Yep, that's
at the
kill.
end of the night. I don't know why, but he was about to leave. We were saying goodbye and I kissed him. I was having very conflicted feelings about it, but I wanted to do it again. So we had a real conversation about it. Is this something that we want to do? Is this something we want to explore? And so we invited them over. We talked a couple times and we all had sex and we just kind of went from there.
Oh my God.
Relax, Pornhub, Jesus.
Oh.
God, wow. I know that one. What?
I'm cringing
Yeah,
over
that's
here.
big
I can handle that.
I think that guy.
Let me ask the group, how do you think everybody arrived at this point? Is it because the girl here, like,
She's just so good.
She's just, yeah, or did she just want to cheat and she's got a pushover husband that's like,
Yeah.
okay, honey, whatever you want.
You may be onto
You're
something
exactly
there.
right. Look at that guy. Beta.
Ladies, any input on the sitch?
I mean, you guys have obviously been in these.
Other than, damn, how she do that?
Yeah.
Well, it is Esterville.
Speaking from experience, what would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of weird stuff out there. Excuse me. There's a lot of weird stuff out there, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's into it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, he probably would have to be in
I think
part
you're
to
right
not
about
just
the
completely
assumption
leave.
that, at first it was, him giving into his wife, but I
Uh-huh.
think after a while he's probably like, yeah, I can vibe with this.
Right.
Well.
Yeah, you don't think you'd almost have to be, right? Because otherwise you'd just be like, fuck this.
Yeah, I'm walking away, yeah.
That's right. The first time that he only had to make one trip to take out the garbage, and it took him half the time to rake the leaves. He was like, "I'm in."
Yeah.
Or in their case, half the time to do the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for me.
Not yet, at least, right?
Yeah, not yet.
She
died.
now. No, no. I love you. Same time. Her and I were together for a long time, and we'd had problems well before they came along.
There's more people involved that need to know the information that's going on.
And that just
Okay, so here's my
obvious that
comment.
my,
Based on this guy over here,
No, who's
the
this
green,
guy?
the guy with the kilt.
Okay.
Okay, so clearly he is extremely comfortable in their relationship to talk as much as he does.
Yeah, I don't think
Just in
that
front of
dude in
this
purple
camera.
is. I think
Yeah.
he hates it.
Yeah, like what's the pecking order between green
Right.
shirt and red shirt? I sort of feel like green shirts maybe come in and taking over as
He's
alpha.
the
male.
alpha, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hey, if he's got enough confidence.
And,
to rock the
earlier
kilt.
in the clip, she was kissing the guy in the purple. I didn't know if that was maybe more of a reassurance
Yeah, it's like
type of pity kiss. I don't know.
could be.
God, I hope I never get one of those. It's okay, honey.
Yeah, this lady is
He's
evil.
just our boyfriend.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Our boyfriend.
My ex-wife was not someone who was willing to communicate.
Remember, he's helping you clean the garage tomorrow.
Yeah,
So look,
he's
even
like-
in those pictures,
yeah,
he's on the...
He's in the background and
Whoa.
stuff. Except for this
Okay,
one.
so
Pity
this is
picture.
new layer here.
Yeah.
No.
I don't want to explore that layer,
Nope.
but it's just interesting to see that it's there.
How did you let your daughters know Daniel would be moving in?
And then they have kids.
The kids are weird. I can tell.
Yeah.
Look, there's a stormtrooper like thing in the back by the. Yeah. They're like just a bunch of.
That would make a great TV show. My Two Dads and Mom.
Dad squared.
He'd been coming around for a long time, and they were kind of used to him being around. And then it was just like, oh, well, Danny's gonna live with us now, you know, and they're like, okay.
That's not.
The girls were playing with one of their friends, and their friend kind of remarked to our little one, she was like, you have 2 dads and a mom. And she was like, yeah, some people have 2 dads, and that's okay.
11. Oh.
But is it though? Like, is that a healthy family atmosphere?
Okay, but some people might have 2 dads, but I would say very few people have 2 dads and a mom.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, other than like
Well, and-
parents who have split up and remarried, that's a different story. Like, they're not all living under the same house.
Mm-hmm.
And kids are going to constantly search for that father figure, not fathers figures.
And yeah.
So who's it going to be?
Right.
You know? Is it going to be the biological dad who's just a beta, or is it going to be Kilt Man
So
who's taking over?
The wife in this scenario, I think she just loves it.
Yeah.
I think she's the queen bee. She loves having 2 guys. And God forbid her daughters grow up expecting that. They're going to have so much trouble finding a guy.
Right.
And when she says, saying, okay, so, we're happy, let's find ourselves a boyfriend.
I think that's probably the most concerning is that they're going to have unrealistic expectations on
Yeah.
what relationships
Like
are.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, if this is, okay, say that it is wholesome. It is, very positive for all people involved, and it's a wonderfully good thing. That's like 1 in a 600 billion relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, we beat this one to death. You want to move on to 59-inch butt, or is that in the recommended still? Or
Well, there's got to be something else good in there.
yeah, I'm just gonna get nothing but polygamy videos in my recommendeds. I think we can probably just type that in.
59-inch butt.
Ooh, vertical. Here we
There
go.
she is.
Wow.
I didn't know my ass was gonna be so big.
Booty injections gave me a 59-inch butt.
I've had guys pumping gas at the gas station and they're watching me and they drive off with the pump in the car. It's crazy.
Courtney Barnes has one very attention-grabbing asset.
Oh.
Her unusually large bum.
My measurements are 36, 28, and 59.
59, baby.
59.
Damn, girl.
I don't even find that attractive.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I don't either. But that having been said, there are tribes in Africa where that a large butt is a really prized asset and has been for centuries and centuries. And I think there's still a little bit of that lingers in.
Right.
yeah, that's a good point, I guess.
Well, and wasn't it true that at some point, maybe in the days when the people's diets weren't so good, that if you were a lady that was a little heavier, like if you're too skinny as a lady, you were thought of somebody that was sick and maybe couldn't.
That applied to men
Yeah,
though too.
Right.
Well,
so,
yeah. Take a look at the Romantic era. All the paintings that we see are these buxom beauties. Because that was seen as a picture of idealism. We're doing well enough, or you were wealthy enough to accumulate fat.
I'm more or less looking at the health aspect of this because, like, the body you're born with, the frame you have, was built for where you naturally have muscle and fat. And so she's not saying she wouldn't naturally be bigger down there, but she's packed on a whole much more than usual. So what kind, like, in terms of her joints or in terms
what's
of
it gonna
whatnot,
do?
what's
Her
it going to do?
lumbar, spine, and
Yeah.
the rest of that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you'd almost you give yourself plastic surgery to the point where it's a disability or something.
Well, people do that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing most people say when they see me. That's just what it is. I just make them say that. What? Oh my God! Damn! She got ass. Literally. Men, women,
We need the bishop to come out now.
grandmas. Miami is fake.
Bless them.
Very. If you're beautiful, most of the time you don't keep it real. Like, it's to the point now that she's really popular. It's almost like we need at least one homeboy to come out with us just to keep people back. Bodyguard, really. Like, really, it's time to even put somebody on the payroll. That's how bad it's getting.
Oh, she's crazy, man. That's no words can explain, bro. That's great, man. I like that. That is great.
This looked like she walked into the
After
store. I
graduating
can't afford
from
these
college
watermelons.
with an
Let's
economics
just
degree,
Yeah.
Courtney now
hide
notices
them
in
here.
marketing her larger-than-life posterior to her thousands of followers on social media.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's more of what it's
That's
about
all-
than
yeah, I was
anything.
just
You
gonna
know,
say,
is
there's- She
getting
likes
the-
that positive attention.
Yeah, getting the 377 followers.
But the
1,000
people
followers,
taking pictures of her too, not that they find it attractive, but wow, this is ridiculous.
Right, so it's got like a circus element to it or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, take a look at the fourth video down.
Okay.
I was thinking of the second video down.
Tanning addict.
Tanning addict Barbie.
I've seen that. That's gross.
Oh yeah.
This couple's toilet.
I'd
has
rather see
never,
her
Wants
ever
to be
been-
crispy.
I don't know. There's so many good ones. Oh dear. All right, Laura, you pick.
No.
Yep, you have to. Come on, Laura. You're ruining the show.
I defer to Kyle.
All right, type in Tourette's guy.
Tourette's
You don't want to defer anything to me.
Yeah, this was
really.
supposed to be current events. And here we are just watching plastic surgery videos.
Hey,
All right,
that's
we're
correct.
watching pimple poppers.
No.
No.
So does Kelly. It's disgusting.
It's pretty popular right now.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
Popper, yes.
Dr. Pimple Popper, yeah. In fact, it's transitioned from YouTube to regular TV, I think. Right?
Yeah. What's her name? Dr.
Pimple.
I don't know.
Popper.
I like that show Botched.
Oh,
Have you ever
yeah.
seen
Oh,
Botched?
I have seen that a couple
Okay,
times.
in one of my favorite episodes, this guy, he's the real life Ken. He goes to a foreign country to get his nose done, and they end up using cartilage from a cadaver. And so he goes on to Botched because that cartilage ends up rotting eventually. So then his nose is like caving in on itself. And they're like, yeah, if we don't fix this, you're not going to be able to breathe. But he was all worried his nose wouldn't look the same.
Crazy. Yeah, why? I mean, it's interesting that like these surgery shows are.
Yeah, like what's our fascination
Right.
with that?
Yeah.
And is that, are all these shows perpetuating the problem that we're having with people not being satisfied with who they are and what they look like, and
Right.
so they're.
Yeah, is it all about vanity or?
I just want to see someone here in the Midwest do something like crazy. Because, if we want to change ourselves, we go to the gym and change our diet maybe a little bit. But I just, I've yet to see someone around here just get like a 59-inch butt.
There are 59-inch butts around, but it's because of KFC and Pizza
Yeah,
Hut.
it's all natural.
Yeah.
Around here.
I don't know. I don't
take you over to Walmart and
don't
Spirit Lake.
Yeah. At night.
At night,
'Cause
exactly.
They'll all be in their PJs.
Get trapped in an aisle or something.
Did you know Walmart is no longer 24/7 in Spirit Lake?
Really? No, I didn't.
It must be recently because all they got were weirdos, and so they closed down at a certain time. I don't remember who told me
Man.
that. Someone at school.
It's going to ruin my routine. Hit up Burger King at midnight and
Gene
go to
had it.
Walmart.
Oh, Gene would know.
Remember the good old days doing that, Kyle?
Well, Lizzie works there in the summer.
Well, one of her National History Day kids went to go get a flash drive, and they weren't open, so she couldn't upload her thing. Yep, it was.
Too bad.
Crazy.
Oh, shoot. There was a Brett Keane video. Give me a minute.
Well, we can talk about the Mueller report.
Oh yeah, the Mueller report.
Oh, really? Everybody talks about the Mueller report. I don't want to.
The big nothing
Gosh.
burger.
So can we just say they still don't know what the heck they're doing yet? And call it a day?
No
Find video
collusion.
about it.
None.
Mueller. Yeah. Not Mueller, right?
Yeah.
Mueller.
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 Okay.
Mueller.
Okay. So let's litigate the coverage.
Mueller.
Do we want CNBC, Fox
I want
News,
something as extreme as possible.
MSNBC?
Well, then go to CNN or Fox.
What's the most recent one? Why don't we try this one?
Okay.
I just have to do my taxes.
Stupid ads.
Snap your
Oh, we got a
W-2
sign
and file
still.
Fed and
Well,
state
actually,
for
your office still has
What
to do my
is
taxes.
clearly an inflection point in the unfolding of the Mueller investigation. The first public splintering of the Justice Department against Mueller's team. Because the news tonight is that for the very first time, whatever private or heated debates have occurred between Mueller's team and their supervisors at the Trump Justice Department in the past, now we're seeing some spill into public view for the first time. The New York Times and other outlets reporting that top people on Mueller's team disagree with Attorney General Bill Barr's efforts to what they see as downplay their evidence and key findings on Trump. The New York Times quoting secondhand sources who say that Mueller's investigators have strong evidence against Trump and that Barr was not totally accurate in his rush to release quotes and his own opinion in his now famous letters to Congress. Now, there may have been private disagreements during the 22 months of the probe. If they're private, we still wouldn't know about them. And Rod Rosenstein was in charge for most of that period. But we never really saw daylight between Mueller's office and the DOJ during that time.
What's nauseating about this whole thing to me is
This whole thing?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I don't even know what people are talking about anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a bunch of words.
Collusion.
So what I took away from the Mueller report was, or the reporting on the prosecution or whoever the hell is doing the investigative committee was, if half the people think that there's a crime here and half the people say no, there's not a crime here. I mean, unless you can say definitively nothing has taken place or something has seriously taken place, doesn't that obligate them to drop it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would think so. I mean, it's not clearly it's not the kind of smoking gun damning evidence that it was made out to be, right?
But
do we really know for sure?
And you have a
right?
guy the only guy who's read it in full is a Trump appointee, who has made biased remarks in the past. But I'm not saying
who hasn't made a biased remark.
I know,
in the past?
but still, I mean, you got a guy who's personally. I mean, there's a reason why Comey's not there, and the AG before Barr, I can't remember his name, but Sessions. He's not there anymore. So I don't know. I don't really care because I'm still making money and I'm still getting a paycheck. And I think that's what a lot of attitudes are in the United States. So
when you're still paying less taxes.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. Trump is an idiot, but I'm getting paid, so I don't care.
Well, yeah, I mean, it starts to the speculation. Because I mean, that's what drives me nuts about this. Is the stuff gets masqueraded? Here's today's news, right?
Yeah.
But really, what all anybody's doing is just talking about the latest what if scenario.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy and that's why I've totally tuned this stuff out.
Right, because it's what ifs they haven't happened yet.
Yeah, here's today's opinion on what may or may not happen. Welcome to Opinion Tonight.
Right.
Well, that's why it sells too. I mean, if people wanted news, they just watch C-SPAN, and no one watches C-SPAN.
Well, that's because it's boring.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I know that's a point we've hit on numerous times in the past, but
every show.
every show, I think, is how
Every show the news comes up
the
and
news,
how
how
it's
terrible
all
it
bullshit and jaded, and
right.
You know, they're
That's
telling
why
you,
we watch reality TV, because this stuff is happening right now.
Yeah,
there you go.
TV, that's real. Yeah.
But yeah, they're telling you how to feel about things, and you have to figure out what your own facts are instead of having them tell you the facts and having you figure out how you feel.
Yeah, it's true. As produced or as processed as reality TV might be, at least I'm afforded the luxury of watching something and then being able to formulate my own idea about it.
Yes.
Even if it is garbage. But that's not true with the news anymore. So thanks for nothing, MSNBC and Fox and CNN and all you other people. So I'll take this opportunity
Bloomberg at NPR.
Yeah, to plug nowherenews.com, the
algorithm-based news.
Based news, yep, and check it out. I think that last I heard from my cousin Tracy and that gang that they were close to getting some like investment or something that might kind of get beyond just sort of a website or whatever. Maybe they can.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a
I
good
think
premise.
so. Yeah, I hope they can turn it into something that's pretty substantial.
All right, we got the Manatee. queued up
Okay,
here.
yeah, I can. Give me a minute and I'll see if I can find him.
Do you have any comments other than from Andy?
I haven't seen
I'm not even watching the chat. Sorry, did Spurge say something?
Oh, he's thinking about Kyle's feet.
Yeah, he mentioned my feet.
Really?
And then we were talking. He mentioned a comment about Smollett. Provable damages, no monies.
Oh yeah.
I miss Berg.
Yeah, I wish he was on. I think he's working maybe today, or I don't know. I thought he had something going on. Yeah. There was a Brett video that was pretty hilarious. It had like the old intro, the final countdown and everything.
Adam, were you on the last time when we looked at Brett Keane?
I think he was,
Okay.
yeah. But he's put out about 40 videos since. Oh, I think this is the one.
Aaron Raw, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to God TV Radio. Oh yeah, look at that intro. That's good stuff.
Do you recognize the tune, Laura?
Okay, so before we get into this, because I've never seen this, is this guy completely serious?
Oh,
or
yeah.
is he this like satire of some sort?
No, he's serious.
We're gonna
He's
let you
just
make up your
loony.
own mind. Yeah.
It's the final countdown.
He lives in like what, Central Missouri?
Festus.
Oh, well, there you go.
Festus, Missouri. Okay, so you got this electric, lightning Jesus and stuff, and a
Norwegian
synthesizer, and wait till we get to Brett.
Oh yeah. You got that audience applause.
But this intro is epic. So
It's pretty
okay,
epic.
atheists are seeking out God believers and using vote bots to downrate our videos.
I don't think so.
Please support believers by thumbing us up.
No one's gonna dress you up.
So now, just a little background on this guy. Now, he was a self-proclaimed atheist.
Yeah,
for a while.
that's
and
right.
He was trying to do this YouTube channel, and it wasn't going anywhere.
Mhm.
And so he changed it to a pro-God podcast,
Yeah.
hoping to get more viewers.
Right. He just attacks everybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's why we're attacking him.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get on his radar
Well,
and start a war with Brett Keane.
Yeah, just title this Project Iron podcast
Brett
Brett Keane.
Keane.
Yeah. He'll find it.
I'm sure he probably.
He's got nothing else to do, so.
I'm sorry, that would be awesome.
We should call him up.
Okay.
There he is.
Jeez.
What do you think?
All right, now I know.
My name is Brett Keane
Call
from God
me,
TV Radio. I
636.
hope you're all having a wonderful.
He's laying down, Desiree. He's like in a bed. and he's propped up, you know. Like,
Oh man, I don't know how your neck can do that.
Day.
Practice.
In this first clip, we're going to see a popular atheist YouTube user claim that the universe doesn't actually have a beginning, and also states that Christians are the ones that get it wrong whenever Lawrence Krauss claims that the universe came out of nothing. He says Lawrence Krauss doesn't philosophically mean nothing, and we're going to correct Aaron Raw, as well as the many, many atheists out there who spread this propaganda pretending as though they know something about science when, in fact, they actually fail.
yeah, he's got a great head of hair.
I like the little, strip of the hair coming down in the middle of the forehead.
How old do you think he is, Desiree?
I'm guessing 46.
Okay.
Wasn't he like 38 or something?
Yeah, he's like.
Oh,
he's
okay,
like,
I'm off.
He's like
Yeah.
my age. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
39, 40.
Yeah, I think he maybe is 40. But yeah, he looks way worse than.
What they'll do is they'll make a video, read off some bullshit from a Wikipedia site, and then
Like what you're doing?
That amuses me so much that you watched the intro and whatever.
1 minute.
Yeah, 10 seconds of Brett Keane, and you know
what it's
everything
about.
you need to know about Brett Keane.
Oh man, he's got didn't he get kicked off YouTube at one time?
Oh yeah, he's lost like every channel. He tried to rebrand himself as the Stallion for a while, and he lost that. See, seriously, he just gets in fights with all these anybody that he can trick into.
I say we call.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, we
should. He might require a fee to come on the show.
Probably, but yeah,
contribute to his.
He's lost
Yeah,
channels.
but it's not a 1-900 number though. It's a legitimate number.
It's probably his cell phone.
Hello, this is Brett Keane. Oh man,
that's funny.
Oh, I don't know. He cuts up clips and stuff from what I don't even know what point he's trying to make here.
So those people that you just when you're scrolling on the search bar are those people he's arguing against?
Well, yeah, I think it's clips out of a.
Okay, so
video
just
or
on
whatever.
appearance alone, look at the individuals. Not to be judgmental, but really, look at the individual he's arguing
of
with.
claims for the ability of random mutations
and natural selection
to account for the complexity of life. A careful examination
of the evidence
for
Darwinian theory
should be encouraged. I'm skeptical.
Skeptical
Of claims
for the ability of random mutations
and natural selection
to account for
the complexity of life.
Look at the way he's got this cut up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just taking a word at a time.
He's taking everybody out of context, I'm sure.
Right, because all these people are saying the exact same phrase, so he can do it. It seems unlikely unless.
I think he's doing it for cinematic purposes and emphasizing the word skeptical. He's doing it for entertainment, not for.
But what are they skeptical about?
I think he'll get to that point. I think right now he's just trying to. It's like a video effect.
But yeah, all we
He's
know.
trying to be savvy with his video.
Make it dramatic. Yeah.
Unless he's interviewed all these people about the same topic, all we know is that they're skeptical about something.
We don't even know that they're skeptical.
Yeah.
We don't know that they're skeptical. Right now, he has just given us a list, and a bunch of people are saying one word, and he's lumping them into.
The clip to see if they actually explain what they're skeptical about.
Account for the complexity of life.
Careful examination
of the evidence
For Darwinian theory
should be encouraged.
I can't tell you how many
I
times
agree.
I've spoken to atheists and they say, well,
Okay,
What,
Laura's
Kyle?
Right. That said absolutely nothing.
Wait, yeah, all it said was careful examination of Darwinian.
Here I was trying to give him the
evidence should be
benefit of the
Right.
doubt.
How is that a problem?
Yeah,
Thinking
how's
he
that a
was
problem?
the master of making YouTube videos creative, and clearly not.
Yeah.
I mean, his intro was good.
Oh, that was awesome.
well, common ancestor doesn't actually mean that we're related. Derpy derp, right? I have told them repeatedly that evolution claims that we actually come from fish and shrews and all kinds of different species of creatures.
I gotta pee.
Well, have fun.
But that is a false claim, Brett.
And they go into all this diluted, incoherent, babbling nonsense that goes nowhere. The atheists out there, a lot of them refuse to believe that the scientific theory claims they come from fish. Let's take a look at scientists and what they have to say about it.
Our genes are a kind of archive of the remote past, and they go through us to the remote future. Henry Dawkins may be my 4 greats-grandfather, and he's put some genes in here. But my 200 million greats-grandfather was a fish. And by the way, the same fish was your 200 million greats-grandfather too.
What's really sad, ladies,
In all like the evolution talk, I don't know if I've ever heard that we've come from fish. Like apes, maybe, but like, where did fish come from?
So, okay, so
like, am I out of the loop
so,
on something?
well, you have to rewind prior to the great apes and prior to the dinosaurs, and where life actually began. It began in the ocean. Is what evolutionary theory has concluded. And so somehow it got from the ocean onto land. And so it was from that fish that was able to eventually breathe air and, crawl out like a little mud puppy, was supposedly the precursor to all of the land-based life as we know it.
So the fish was the very first thing.
The thought is life on Earth had to go from the sea to land somehow, and so it had. What's that?
Tiktaalik was that species name.
There you go. So maybe the science teacher could help me out a little bit. And so
I thought you were flacing.
Yeah, the theory is it was some kind of a fish or some kind of a sea-dwelling creature that came upon land, and that was the beginning of.
So that includes all animals then. So the tiger eventually.
Yeah, the sloth, the elephant, the mongoose,
but it's incorrect.
The platypus.
It's incorrect to say that that like a tiger came from a fish. Okay, no, a tiger came from its previous ancestor, whatever that was. I don't know. It's probably something.
But it all boiled down to when something first crawled out of the ocean.
If you want to go back that far, but
that's what we're talking about.
Okay, and that's a real bad misconception of evolution too, because everybody sees that picture of the chimpanzee, and then the next standing straight up, and then people point to the next guy in line, which would be like Homo erectus or something, and they say that was great grandpa. And it's just not true. Like your great grandpa was a Homo sapien. Your great great grandpa was a Homo sapien. Your great 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 grandpa was a Homo sapien. I mean, they're different species of organisms. So there's a lot. And I guess I just chimed in here, so I don't even know what the guys are really talking about. But just from what I've seen, being around kids and teaching evolution, it's a.
So are you saying like your lineage has nothing to do with evolution, essentially?
Well, let me back the whole train up. So where this started was Keen showed a video of a scientist who said, yeah, my 200 millionth great grandfather was a fish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he added his little video effect with that.
No, that's
scary.
Had like a northern pike going.
Yeah.
So no.
Take it.
I guess I don't. There's no question there. So, but it's just factually incorrect.
You want to back that up so
Sure.
Kyle can
Yeah,
see
I
it
could
again?
maybe
It was
listen to it.
Richard Dawkins.
Yeah, Kyle, I just asked, I said, is it like a new thing? Because like in school when we were talking about like evolution and stuff, the only thing that came up was perhaps an ape. You know what I mean? Like this is the first I've heard of fish being.
No, I mean I think the scientific consensus is that, like Andy was saying, that life evolved from marine organisms to land organisms, and then there was that one species that was the bridge between marine and land, and it somewhat resembled a fish. It really wasn't because it had lobed fins, but
But like, when did this discovery or?
oh, so they have fossils of Tiktaalik. I'm not sure. I can't give you a specific date of how old it is or when they discovered it, but they do believe that they have the link between marine and terrestrial.
Do you want to see the part
But
of the
is
clip
that
again?
link fairly new? Like,
No.
when I was in high school, they
the
already
discovery
had,
of it.
right?
No, it's been conjecture that that life would have had to originate in the oceans before land. That's goes back to Darwin. I think he said the same thing. But
I must not remember that.
Are a
I
kind
don't
of
think that when I
archive.
was in school, though, that they got into depth about evolution. Yes, obviously we touched upon it, but I don't think there was a lot of time spent on it. And I don't know if it's because kids can't really grasp the complexity of it, or if it kind of goes against that, oh, hey, we have a lot of kids that also study creationism, so we're just going to touch upon this and then move on to the other,
Oh yeah, that might be.
you know, topics of science.
Well, not only
Yes.
church parents, but church teachers. I mean,
Sure.
you have a lot of teachers, a lot of science teachers who don't subscribe to it, which is too bad. Because it is science. It is.
But you don't think
studied
it is maybe a little bit too complex for
I think
kids at that age when you're first introducing it to kind of wrap their heads around it?
I think anytime you introduce large quantities of years, like that's tough for anybody to grasp, not just kids, because we haven't evolved intellectually to understand what a billion light years away would feel like, or
Yeah,
you
could
know.
be, could be anything with a huge. Think about the Justin Bieber and the net worth, and the Jeff Bezos's divorce. 135 Justin Biebers.
So
yeah, then
kids
how do you
hear-
put that into perspective?
Yeah,
for
and that's
kids,
just
right?
it. I mean, kids hear those numbers and there's no way, that's not right.
Right.
You know, I can't remember what I did yesterday. How can I come from a fish 300 million years ago?
Well, okay, so check this out.
The only thing you
Of
can do
the
is put it in the
remote
model.
past.
Here's what he
and they go
said.
through us to the remote future. Henry Dawkins may be my 4 greats-grandfather, and he's put some genes in here. But my 200 million greats-grandfather was a fish. And by the way, the same fish was your 200 million greats-grandfather too.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
And was he completely serious, or was he making a joke?
Yeah, that's
he's
good question.
I mean, it's hyperbole. You hear the word grandfather and you think of grandpa in the 1950 Chevy or whatever. And there's no way that grandpa was a chimpanzee, right? No way. Well, no, there isn't anyway, because he wasn't. He was a Homo sapien. So, I mean, Dawkins did that just for, shock.
He's making a
value.
point.
Yeah, and that's what
So
he
then
does.
is Brett Keane taking him literally?
Yeah, it's because Brett
Yeah.
Keane's an idiot. And that's what he does. So.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Brett was on the cutting edge of science and philosophy, and
we could go back all the way to the beginning, where you could say great grandfather was great grandfather times a billion was conjured up in a geothermal vent underneath the ocean. It's you could say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that human beings, Homo sapiens, are the same as fish.
Well, then you can also say my 30 billionth great grandfather was a carbon atom.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something completely inanimate. It's you can play word games all you want, but I don't know, whatever. Brett Keane makes me mad. I don't like him.
Well, let's keep watching.
Design himself, and
Yeah,
why it
he's
is
funny,
very,
but-
very probable that there could be a God. Richard Dawkins, like many atheists out there, seem to have a problem with the Christian Bible. Has problems with some of the information that Judaism puts out there.
Okay,
and
let's
doesn't like-
pause. So
That's
he's
a good still shot there.
What's the science guy's name that he just referenced?
Dawkins.
Richard
Da-
Dawkins.
Dawkins. Okay, so is he under the assumption that just because you believe in science, you're atheist?
Who? Keane?
Yeah. It almost came off that way. He's like Dawkins, like many atheists. So
Yeah.
Dawkins
Well, that's what I mean.
is
That's,
an atheist for sure.
Yeah,
he is. Okay,
yeah. But he's got. I mean, that's the way he words things. Like he'll group people together.
yeah, the
Right.
generalizations.
And then
Mhm.
just bash them. So yeah, he's just.
Well, so I don't know, maybe how many people know this, but what would you say, Kyle? Like maybe roughly 10 years ago was like YouTube and sort of the
Yeah.
internet generally kind of a
Yeah.
forum for like atheism versus theism, a
Yeah.
lot of debating
Yeah.
and stuff. And that was sort of like Brett's bread and butter
Yeah.
initially, and went back in his atheist days.
And he was pretty famous too.
And he was sort of famous, yeah. So but like nobody's doing it anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of just no one really cares.
Yeah, right.
It's lost
so-
its edginess, and now it's
Yeah.
all cringy social justice warrior stuff.
Right.
That's really popular on
Well,
the
I
internet
think part of it's too is like more people as they openly say, yeah, that they're atheists. People are like, okay, whatever,
Yeah, it's
cool.
Yeah. Yep. It's definitely
I don't
becoming.
think there's much of that stigma behind it anymore.
It's definitely
Yeah.
not taboo anymore for sure.
But yeah, Brett's like that guy that's still talking about that touchdown he scored.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, back in high school.
Yeah.
I have a
That
feeling
is-
this guy scored no touchdowns.
Oh
on
yeah,
any
I
field.
think you're right.
Probably
Yeah. I don't think Brett's done much of anything other than lay in his bed,
The
and
third
make,
string center.
make videos. Yeah, for sure. Well, you want to move on?
Yeah.
Excellent video, Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
We'll keep the eyes peeled. He's always coming out with something good. Well, I'm out of ideas. Any suggestions?
I don't know.
Was there any news that we haven't hit on that was a big story?
Oh man, Mueller report, Smollett.
Yeah.
What else?
Oh, the Boeing crash.
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna
the
say, have
airplane,
we
yeah.
talked about Full House lady?
Oh,
Lori Loughlin.
that's a good
being
one.
in deep
What
shit.
happened?
yeah, the college
true.
admissions scandal.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
How do you
she could
spell
face
her
prison
name?
time. Lori
Is it Loughlin? or McLaughlin?
Laugh.
Aunt
Oh,
Becky. No, not Aunt Becky. You guys remember Aunt Becky, right?
I really want her to see prison time just for fun.
Okay.
She
All right.
won't.
So
Here's her daughter pointing fingers. We'll hit this up.
Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband.
I heard about
charged-
this. Can you pause? I heard about this, but I'm not really familiar with
Yeah,
the
me either.
ins and outs of the story. I know that somebody like they used their influence to get him
Okay.
into school. Or,
So I've had a lot of conversations about this. So what happened was Lori Loughlin worked with this guy who managed to get kids in schools.
okay.
And
So like an agent
this,
kind of.
Yep, this guy, she worked with him, and they worked out a deal with the captain of the rowing team for USC. And she paid him $500,000 to say that her daughters were being recruited as potential crewmates for the rowing team for USC. Well, these girls had never rowed a boat in their life.
Okay.
They certainly weren't up for consideration for the rowing team. So
We're under the assumption they couldn't get into USC
Yep.
on their merit. Okay.
correct. And so by using that as a loophole to be accepted into USC, that's what she's
Gotcha.
facing charges for. Now,
Okay.
there were like 50 other high-profile people that this guy did favors like this for.
So I guess I'm kind of struggling to grasp the legality of it. Can't a coach take whoever he wants on their team, even if they suck?
Yeah, but you can't pay him to do it.
Why not?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, well, I don't know. I think you should be able to do whatever the heck you want with your money, in my opinion.
So the
And
charges.
I'm sorry, maybe you covered this, but why rowing of all?
Well, I think
sport?
it's probably least likely to be.
Yeah, least likely to be
Oh.
investigated by. Yeah,
Right,
is my
okay.
guess.
Yeah, they're probably got eyes on the football and the basketball
Yeah.
team, I would suspect.
And the
right?
track and field team, the
Mhm.
gymnastics.
Right. Oh, Aunt Becky, how could you betray us like this? Sad.
But
But the thing is,
And
like,
let-
so she did this so her daughters could get into USC.
Mhm.
Doesn't she have the money where she could just pay the school and be like, here, put my daughters in USC without having to put them on the rowing team?
And see, now that's a really good question
Mhm.
because, like Ivy League schools, like your Harvard, your Yales, your Princeton's, if you give a sizable endowment to the general endowment to the school, then that's okay.
Right.
Say, hey, I'll give you a $2 million endowment if you let my kid in. They've been doing that forever.
Right.
So I mean that's a good question. I don't know why this is so
Mhm.
much different.
Yeah, somehow the investiture with the coach makes it quid
Or,
pro quo.
she is kind of a celebrity that really, she probably doesn't have as much money as, let's say, Justin Bieber. So maybe she's thinking, oh, I'm going to try to save myself some money, not pay into the school, and just say they're part of this team. That's why they got in there.
Well, she's married to a fashion mogul.
So never mind.
Yeah.
Money's not a problem. So.
No, it's not an issue at all.
Hallmark movies.
Oh, Hallmark, big bucks. I'm sure there's probably more money there than what I realized.
So her husband is what, Massimo?
I have no idea.
Something or
I
other.
don't know. I just Googled it quick, and the first thing that popped up is we got conflicting data here.
Uh-oh.
CelebrityNetWorth.com says Lori Loughlin's net worth is approximately $20 million, but the cheat sheet says Lori Loughlin has an estimated net worth of $8 million.
How much? Oh, look up her husband.
Okay.
So let's see. Lori Loughlin's husband,
Mr.
Loughlin. Husband is Massimo Giannulli.
The Italian, probably.
So let's Massimo.
You're stereotyping, Jimmy.
Sorry, Italians.
Giannulli. Let's see.
Got any Italians in
Yeah,
the
he was
bunch
the one
here?
who created Massimo.
I don't think so.
Not me.
80 million is his net worth.
Okay.
So it's not Bieber money.
Nope.
But it
not
doesn't.
hurting.
No, yeah. It ain't bad.
It ain't bad.
Yeah, it's not.
Laura, you're Italian, aren't you?
Hey!
She's Amazonian.
Forget about it. Okay, sorry. I've been binging The Sopranos lately, so
Sunday, I'll ask you for a favor.
okay. Sorry.
Take the gun, leave the
college
cannoli.
admission scheme to get their two daughters into USC are reportedly dealing with some painful family fallout. People magazine is reporting her youngest, Olivia Jade, is blaming her parents for all that's happened. The popular YouTuber,
Well, it would be their fault.
rebuild her brand. Lori, pay for my tuition.
Just pause it for a second.
I love it.
Did her daughter not know that that's how she got into school? Like, oh, I'm so good with my grades and stuff, you
Or
know?
rowing.
It was my YouTube channel that got me in. Don't be crazy.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
so, like, did she really not know?
The speculation is they didn't. A lot of these kids didn't know that their parents went behind their backs to do them favors. That's the kids' defense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plausible
deniability. That's right.
That's right. I like how she just walks around like people.
I know.
Lori,
I kind of
thanks for my tuition. I
find
love that.
believing part of that to be crap because kids will do anything to get anything they want these days. So if this kid really wanted to get into USC, I'm pretty sure she was well aware
Yeah,
of what her parents were doing.
I would think so.
Yeah, it takes some cojones to say it was all her fault, though.
Right.
It's kind of
Right.
a crappy kid.
Well, if that were the case, I'd blame my kid. My kid told me to do it. You
Yeah.
know how millennials are these days.
right.
Yeah.
But I really want to go to USC. I want to be on the rowing team.
New fallout this morning for Fuller House actress Lori Loughlin in the midst of the college admissions scandal. This
Love it.
one super personal.
Hello everyone, it's Olivia Jade.
Laughlin's daughter Olivia Jade reportedly now lacks.
Is this girl famous? Olivia?
Yes, she assumes that people know who she is. But if I just saw her video, "Hello, I'm Olivia Jade," I would have no idea that's her daughter. So
I don't know.
Does she have? Is
She-
she known for something?
She has a lot of followers on like the Instagram,
Sure.
and Twitter, and she's just a celebrity kid who
An influencer.
Yeah,
So
she's an
that's the
influencer.
latest
she's
job.
famous
She
for
influences
being a
all
kid
sorts of
of someone famous. She's not really famous for
Yeah,
doing anything.
exactly.
He's
Well,
watching.
that's how it
Okay.
works
How do you
anymore.
think you got into ILCC?
Well, I mean, that's just like, Paris Hilton.
You gotta say that on the thing.
Okay, so my dad's tuning into the
Hey, Tom.
broadcast here, and he just shot me a text message, and he's watching this whole thing. He goes, "How do you think you got into ILCC?"
Like your dad.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, all the time. He pulled some strings.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in on
So
my
then,
own, no
correction,
way.
maybe kids aren't aware
Maybe
of how
I
they're
wasn't.
getting into.
Yeah, I sure wasn't. So
Here,
thanks.
you thought you got in on your merits
Yeah.
alone, Kyle, but nope, it
wasn't
was just
happening.
all crony stuff. Yep. Okay.
Lashing out, blaming her parents for the bad PR.
Olivia is very frustrated with her parents and that she would never have gone along with this if she'd known about it.
Hold on. Did she get kicked out of school then?
I don't know.
Or is she already
I don't
graduated?
think she ever got it. I don't know if she ever ended up getting in.
But was that her only choice? Like there are thousands of
Yeah.
schools
What about UCLA, right?
to go to. Like really, like I don't.
What about USCC?
Okay,
Yeah,
my
right.
mom is now relevant again. How is that a bad thing for her?
Well, that's true.
She's distraught, she's embarrassed, and she's determined.
Doesn't look too distraught. to
Yeah,
me.
that's
having people dote on you on the beach in the sunshine. Oh man,
Yeah, that's rough.
terrible.
This is maybe pre-scandal.
Oh, okay.
Determined to figure out how to rebuild.
Well, I don't know.
the
She wasn't
The
smiling.
19-year-old YouTube star losing
YouTube
major
star,
sponsorships like Tresemme and Sephora.
I'm about to see my Sephora collection.
Well, okay, so maybe she's got some damages
Yeah.
then. Like maybe it's just not totally.
She should
baseless.
sue her mom.
Yeah,
But
maybe she should.
if she already had that fame and, I mean, those sponsorships, she was making her own money. Why'd she need to go to school in the first place then?
Yeah, she probably just wanted to be a college girl.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but looking at what her YouTube channel possibly is, it has to deal with makeup.
There's a
Okay,
lot of
it's not
that.
like she's
Ton of that.
she has this
Mhm.
YouTube channel where she's commenting on some huge academic, research of some sort. And so it's these people that are going to USC that are like, well, I'm not following her anymore. It's people that are watching her for makeup.
Mhm.
Really,
Right.
how many followers is she losing?
Well, you're probably very right.
They're watching her for makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Didn't we talk about like how nice it would be if one of these corporate sponsors would have a spine on something and just
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're gonna stick by somebody,
Yeah.
just because the outrage mob is mad at us.
Yeah. And
Get
not
over it.
have that person
Just
follow
get
us.
over it, yeah.
That'd
This
be
would
nice.
maybe be a perfect example because
Yeah.
if the girl didn't know what was going on and it was her
Mhm.
mom's fault, then why should the shampoo people or whatever pull the plug?
Well, you're
on
not
her?
wrong. Tresemme,
Yeah, you know,
right?
right?
Shampoo.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Tresemme, ooh la la, Laura.
And I'm a guy.
I forgot
Tresemme.
Tresemme. was
I'm bald and I know this.
La la.
I'm more or less saying her maybe that's her sponsorship. Maybe yes, they're pulling out, but like all the people that are watching her channel are more than likely, just teenage girls or even college girls sitting at home
Right.
wanting tips on how to do their makeup. I
Yeah.
doubt
Aren't
they're
gonna-
unfollowing her.
Yeah.
And you
I-
can very well still have a lot of fame and fortune just through that alone
Mhm.
anymore.
Mhm.
Right.
That's true.
Well, and regardless, she's never going to be a Jenner or Kardashian if that's her goal. You know what I mean? Like
Well, no, she hasn't done a sex tape yet, so of course.
Yeah.
not.
that's true. That we know of.
That's right.
That's the
That's why I said
nuclear
yet.
option.
It's the nuclear option.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst.
All right, it's time. Gonna leak my own.
We'll use the Hallmark cameras.
But like Desiree was saying, she'll maybe lose sponsorships, but she's not going to lose a whole
Followers, yeah.
lot.
Well, yeah. And other sponsors will come in.
So like
Oh, yeah.
what's
I'm sure.
so it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not getting their money, but I'll get someone else's money, but Why is she upset? She's still getting a lot
Doesn't the
of money.
sponsorship pretty much boil down to like free makeup and hair care products anyway?
I don't know.
Could be, unless it's a
She
paid.
probably gets paid through YouTube though.
Yeah, she
I
might.
wonder-
They might
I
pay
wonder
her.
how many
to-
followers she has.
Yeah.
But you know what? Chances
Start
are
following
that when she got these sponsorships, she threw around her mom's or her dad's name
Yeah.
because he's in the fashion industry. And now the only thing that she might not do is just not mention their name. But I have a feeling even after this, she'll still do that.
Yeah. Well, because she's still, Massimo's daughter.
Yeah. She won't be Aunt Becky's daughter anymore.
No.
Just Massimo.
Like, I feel like I could cry.
After her parents, Lori Loughlin and Massimo Giannoli, were arrested last month for allegedly paying $500,000 in bribes to get both her and her sister Isabella into USC.
If you would have said England is my city, I would say, why did I pay all this money for your education?
What? England is my city? Is that what she said?
I don't get it.
Yeah,
Do I have
rewind
wax
that.
in my ears?
That was.
What the hell happened?
Well, she's an actress. Take that into consideration.
C.
If you would have said England is my city, I would say, why did I pay all this money for your education?
Loughlin and Giannoli.
Oh, I wonder if.
There's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it now. Okay.
For a judge Wednesday alongside a parade of other wealthy parents, including actress Felicity Huffman.
Do you plan to fight this?
Also in court Wednesday, high-power attorney Gordon Kaplan, who announced Friday he plans to plead guilty to paying $75,000 to
There's you.
rig his daughter's ACT test.
He's
Kaplan
the
saying in a
smart
statement,
one.
"The remorse and shame that I feel is more than I can convey."
And we reached out to Loughlin's attorneys for comment, but did not hear back.
he
This
feels
case is still
$75,000 in
unfolding, though.
remorse.
They've said that there could be more potential parents. This is not the end of it for
And
sure.
it's so complex within these families. I mean, you feel for the children. The parents were doing it for them, but of course it's incredibly embarrassing and it's wrong. So yeah, it's
The
complicated
defense
all
is
the way around.
interesting too. Some parents fighting back and saying they didn't do anything wrong. Others, working towards the.
Yeah, if I'm assuming that these aren't the only people who do this, so if they weren't famous, would it even matter? You know what I mean? Like, there are probably people who are wealthy enough to buy their kids into college, but is it because they're famous people that is now an issue, or like what's
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably part of
We love to tear down celebrities in America.
it. We'd love to tear down anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost wondering if you were going back, using the term endowments, like people for years have been paying so much money to a school, but is that only with the hopes of their kids getting in? I wonder if the difference is an endowment, you have a better chance, but if there's a bribe there, if there's this set kind of deal, hey, I'll give you $500,000 with the guarantee that my daughter gets in. Where with an endowment, that's not the case. You can just kind of give your money and kind of hope your kid will get in. I don't know if maybe that's the difference here.
I don't think those conversations go that way. I would imagine if I have a boatload, if I have Buffett money, and if I want my kid to get into school, I'll say, hey, look, I want my kid to go to school here. If I have to write an endowment check, let me know how much it's going to be. Period. That's the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a.
So then are they just using the word bribe because for news sake it's got this negative connotation behind it?
I think they can use the. Sorry.
No,
somebody
go
jumping
ahead.
in? Okay. I think they can use the word bribe because she is giving a particular individual money to sign off on her daughter getting into school. I think
So it's not just the school itself.
Yeah, she's not giving money to the school. She's paying somebody off to get her daughter in the door.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's the problem.
I think that's the problem.
And how much do these kids actually know? That's
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, hey there, GMA
okay.
fans.
Well, wasn't much left of that one.
Oh, man.
Everybody tuckered out?
Yeah, I better call it. I gotta get supper.
Alrighty.
I don't even know what time it is.
It's about 6 Iowa time. Well, thank you everybody for being on. It was a good episode.
Yeah,
It's a
thanks
fun
for having
episode.
me.
I now
yeah.
know who Brett Keane is.
Brett Keane. We got a new Brett Keane fan among us.
Go watch all his videos.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's it.
Goodbye.